One, two, three, let's go! Hello and welcome to a showcase of Frankenstorm TD demo. Neat little tower defense roguelike that I found on the Steam demo page. There's no campaign yet or anything like that, but they've got 3 different maps that all play a little bit differently. And so, like a lot of different tower defense games, this one has pathing. Enemies come in from here, this one entry point, and you've got this entire field to maze out and put up defenses for your tower defenses. You can kind of see based on the arrows that they're going to be going to switch number 1, then switch number 2, then switch number 3, and then over to Frankenstorm over here. So I'm going to get some amazing setup. And put down these basic towers. And going to see what we get at the end of the first wave. So it's not everything that it needs to be yet, but it's decent. And then, yeah, spacebar to start. Alright, so here's how every single wave you'll get, like, there's the main thing that you get, and then at the bottom the side effects, and both are really important. So cooldown recovery basically means like tower attack speed, and then the red ones are basically how the enemies are being affected, and then the side effects in white, that's just bonus extra side effects. So I can get a slow tower, but it'll make all of my enemies permanently across all future waves 4% faster. I can get cooldown recovery, but give my enemies damage resistance, and I can get more damage, but I'll spawn in more enemies per wave. So, in every single wave, there's something like that. So I don't have anything new to put down. It's not like I'm getting gold by killing the enemies, and then spending that gold on unlocking stuff and upgrading stuff. Nothing like that. There's no way to upgrade any of these. I can basically just reclaim it and put it somewhere else if I want to. But yeah, so no gold for killing enemies, but at the end of every wave. This one, the 4th reward option chance, I'm not like the hugest fan of. And this is decent, but there are better options. And the piranha cannon is a 2x2 instead of a 1x1 tower. Makes it a little bit harder to work with. I'm just going to take wires so I can do more pathing. Do. Let's see. Yeah, and these map obstacles, the graveyard has these, the other maps don't have these map obstacles in particular. They've got other stuff going on. Gonna spread out my towers a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, feels decent, I guess. Alright, so I've got a pretty good maze going so far, and I've got a lot of room to work with, so just gonna kind of keep, I'm gonna try and keep the pace increasing. I know I'm trying to like showcase the game and like, hey, here's this game that I found, here's how it works, but I'm gonna try and start moving like a little bit faster. Because the game can go on for a minute, I guess. Those bombs, they'll disable any turrets or whatever that you have. And these effects of all of these towers, I feel like they're important, but like I also kind of want to be moving fast. I like the cannon tower. It stuns enemies for 5 seconds, so if you can get a lot of these, you can just slow down the enemy wave like by a lot. Sniper, it's decent. You know, it works like a sniper tower, high damage, high cooldown. Yeah, I was gonna try and show, oh, this is what it looks like when a tower is disabled, but it didn't disable my tower. I can get more damage, and they'll get more life, and then I'll also get more damage. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. So as far as roguelite tower defenses, roguelite, I don't know what it is. Not bad. This one's decent. It does take away your effect radius. So anything that you like, the cannon tower, how it has a splash damage effect and a stun, that'll just happen in a smaller area. But it'll have, my turret will have 20% more target range. So I usually think that that's worth it. And you probably noticed, but every single time, every single enemy is going to go along the entire path. So if someone gets to switch number 1 and hits it, every single other enemy that hasn't yet gotten to switch number 1 will go over to switch number 1 and try and hit it. So every single enemy is going to follow this entire path. So it's really only the strongest enemies that you have to worry about, because the weaker ones will won't be able to make it the full way. I should probably try and get more wires to do more oh, and if your stuff's not connected. What's this? Oh yeah, the hounds. Those are annoying. They're super fast. Yeah, so I didn't take that upgrade just because of what the what it was going to cost me. If you put down your wires and they're not connected to anything, they have to be connecting to one of the... There's these 2 points here, right next to Frankenstein, and all of your walls, all of your pathing has to be connected to that. Oh, whoops. And then all of your towers have to be placed on the electric fence, whatever you call it. You don't have to place them on the corners. I place them on the corners. You can place them just anywhere where there's... But it seems like for area that you can get them to target, that it's best to... in my mind at least, it's best to put them on the corner. Oh man. Yeah, so when I lose, I usually lose to some of these dog enemies. I guess I wasn't paying attention and took some dog enemies. Because it only takes one enemy to go through the entire path to kill Frankenstein. Yeah, so since you can't build through here and everything has to be connected, that makes mapping mazing around obstacles pretty hard. But you can use diagonals. Like here, there's only these two green, like these are basically next to each other on a diagonal, but it works because the enemies can path diagonally like that. So since this is where Switch 1 is and the end goal of their journey, I figure it's a good place to start doing all my amazing stuff, because it'll be practical for more than just making it harder for them to get to Switch number 1. So here's a lot of good options. This is like that spike trap, except it stuns. Got a long cooldown though, and this one, poison tower, and it spreads when they die. So I like to pick up a lot of these. I like to pick up a lot of these. Damage resistance, max life. Yeah, so that should stun them all when they're kind of in range of a lot of these towers over here. The lava map that they have obstacles that you have to build around, but the enemies can path through them. So it's lava on the ground. So you can't build through the lava that's on the ground, similar to like the tree stump or the light post or whatever. But the enemies can path through it. The enemies can't path through any of this stuff. And then the underwater base basically doesn't have any obstacles in it. So since this supplies a permanent debuff that spreads when they die, putting it kind of on the way in usually feels like the best choice to me. Since I'm getting those brutes, I think they're called, I'll grab a sniper tower just to kind of help with the big enemies. And look at those cannon towers slowing everybody down. Got what, 4 of them now? One, yeah. This one's not doing much, but I want it there for later. So more stun. All that stun is really going to help for all these dogs that are coming in. And it feels like I'm outscaling the enemies for now, but it's only wave 20, so they're going to be... why not take the Piranha Cannon? Yeah, I'll show it off. It's a 2x2 that applies a damage over time debuff. And over here you can see everything that you have, if you don't want to just look at it on the map, I guess. In case you're like, huh, I wonder if I've forgotten something. And I think there's a symbol up there if you have something over here in your inventory that you haven't spent. There's another tower, an acid tower, that basically does the same thing as this piranha tower, but it's just not a 2x2. So, but what you do get to see, it was kind of hard to see with all the visual effects going on. you do get to see the piranha sticking to these enemy, with all the splash art, or not splash art, effect animations. Yeah, you can see the fish sticking to them. So that's a nice little detail that they had, I thought. Okay, that's probably good for that. Okay, great, great, great.
There's nothing sus going on here. I have a permit.
Yeah, every wave, Frankenstein says something. Some of it's a little bit funny. You know, it adds to the theme or whatever. It's nice, I guess.
Face and I win. Another interruption.
I don't know if there's like a high score leaderboard in this game or anything, but it's all basically luck based. Well, not all. It's not all luck based. If you know how to maze, if you know where to place your towers, that's gonna really help. But if you're just getting bad options, and then eventually the enemies are just gonna like outscale you. Like, I don't think you can like play up to wave infinity or anything like that. Pretty sure the enemies are gonna outscale you before too long. Like, I don't think I've gotten much past wave 50 on the couple times that I've tried playing this. Oh, bear traps, yeah. I should grab some of those. Anyone who hits that gets a 40% movement speed debuff. Which is great for wolves. Sometimes I put it just like a little bit further back in my maze so that any wolf type enemy will slow down just a little bit. Here it is, acid tower. So this does, I can't really show it. I'll try and look at the numbers later, but yeah, they basically do the same thing. It's just one's bigger. And you can see the acid effect on him. So yeah, glad I found this pleasant, fun tower defense game. Glad I'm able to showcase it. And just gonna try and finish off this run, I guess. One time, I don't know if it was like a map specific thing or something, I got this one orange tower that was a 3x3, and it did global damage. It did global damage and applied a damage debuff, or a damage resistance debuff. So the longer your enemies stayed on the map, the more like they would just take like a scaling increasing damage. More effect rate. I'm losing some more 6% damage for a 5% effect radius. That seems bad. It was called like a solar tower or something like that. I thought that was pretty good. I'll showcase that if I ever see it, if I ever come across it. But some options you just don't see that often. Corpse explosion tower, that's decent, but like it doesn't. I guess it does damage, but like the biggest thing is that it applies a debuff. I'll put it over here by the entrance. And then enemies aren't always close enough together to for that to mean anything. And as many times as I've taken sharpshooter, I know my area of effect has been nerfed. That looks pretty good. I don't really want to do more wires right now. Like, they can get to switch number 1, but they don't really get to switch number 2. I think with all these upgrades, they're color-coded. Like, blue is the normal type. Purple is the rare type, and then orange or red or whatever it is like the extremely rare type. I think this one was a red one, but I don't want to say that for certain. Plus 23% damage, but minus 12% cooldown. Gotta get some of that back. And range, but they spawn in more enemies, sure. 23% damage is a pretty good amount. Yeah, it gets the screen gets pretty crowded with all the numbers and visual effects and stuff. It can be really hard to see what's going on sometimes. And then when the enemy's moving that fast, on the waves that I do lose, I usually don't know that I've lost it until like it's already over, because everything's just so like hard to see. I'm glad I have as much stun as I do, or else I probably wouldn't have made it this far. Yeah, and these things like the Plague Tower and the Corpse Explosion Tower, like the enemies need to be fairly close together in order for them to have any real effect. So, a lot of times it just feels like they're not close enough together for it to really mean anything. Like they'll apply their little damage over time debuff, or whatever, but it's not going to really mean anything super helpful. Alright, so that's switch number 2, switch number 3. Let's see if I die here. Just barely, no. Lovely, lovely. Stun enemies a little bit more, kind of in the middle of everything, sure, sure. Yeah, now they're all close enough together. But that's with like 8 or so cannon towers, 9 maybe, I don't know. And like 3 base traps. Yep, so 1 switch left, but I don't think any of them are going to make it. Yep. Cooldown recovery, minus a little bit of damage. Yeah, this time the numbers look a little bit better on that. Yeah, things are getting really fast now. Like, I can't even see that wolf enemy. Let's see. Does he make it to Frankenstein? Nope. Does the little bomb enemy over there make it to Frankenstein? Not quite. But yeah, I'm not going to make it too many more rounds. Damage and cooldown reduction, and they get 1 more enemy. Alright, let's see how this goes. Yeah, wave 41. Yeah, this is around when it gets to be like super serious. I don't think I've made it to 60. I've probably made it to 50 before, but I don't think I made it to 60 before. And that wolf boy, I think, is gonna kill me. Nope. Okay, I'll take it. I don't know. Sure. Just a little bit more delay to give myself a little bit more of a chance. And you don't get debuffs for picking the wires, so the enemies will scale up a little bit on their own, but it's not like... Oh, that's probably it. Boom. So yeah, Frankenstorm TD demo. It's got a lot going for it as a tower defense game. With the, I forget what they're called, roguelike elements to it. It's decent. I've had fun playing with the demo. I'm sure if you head on over to it and test it out and send the developers some feedback, or wishlist it if you want it, the developers would really appreciate that, like they usually do. And I guess that's it for this little episode, and have a good rest of your day. Or don't. Either way, no pressure.